So here I am with Matt Wand, also known as Rocky Smalls on the AE Modular forum.
And elsewhere.
And elsewhere as well.
Well, no, only the AB forum. But
and
we don't talk about them here.
He came over to the Superbooth with his little Volker-sized case. And Matt, what are the benefits of the Volker-sized case?
Well, Volker things are the benefit of the Volker size case and the proliferation of coaxed things. For instance, the Deck Saver Mark II for Volker without the cables fits perfectly on your Volker. A couple of elastic bands. There you go. You got a lid for your AE Modular. It's a first, I tell you.
It's pretty cool. And even though it is a super tiny case, I think there are a few interesting things you can do with it. So let's have a look at this patch.
First of all, let me say that Robert's done an amazing job, because this little power block here, which is half of the standard power block with the headphone output, now has stereo ins and stereo outs, which the normal power one doesn't really have, which is amazing. So this is really the first case that's specifically stereo, which I'm all for, especially with modules like this that are quite stereo. Though Robert's done a crazy trick in this. Oh, I might need to switch that to mono. That might be why I'm getting it. Oh, did you switch that? Yeah, Robert, it's a trick. Robert,
what's the trick?
So mono is the stereo and stereo is the mono. So you may have switched wrong, but I'll leave it as it is for the minute. But
interesting. Okay.
It's an Easter egg, a melted Easter egg. So, but in the case, there's a wealth. There's the clouds, the mutable instruments clouds clone Cirrus. There's the mutable instruments rings clone Rains. There's this modulators, which is 4 modules in one, really, random and noise. An LFO, which is saw or triangular. There's an envelope with 2 modes and attack and decay, and there's also a VCA in here, which there's no knob for, but it's VCA out, and the in and the modulation can be done, and obviously modulated via the LFO if you want to do that crazy things. Then there's a base plate for the micro modules with the amazing sample and hold, track and hold, and with a random output, and which has a noise output and 2 different randoms, one of which is sloped, one of which is stepped. There's a clock output there, and there's configurations where the clock on the second track and hold, sample and hold, runs the random at the same time. So there's all sorts of things you can do with that. Track and hold is fairly novel to A&E and a lot of things these days, being a more subtle version of sample and hold. Then in this I've got the tone module, which is low and high, essentially a simple EQ, well, 2 kind of EQs really, and the signal amp. And what I'm doing on this is just running feedback with the tone, so making this into a feedback section of a mixing desk, as it were, just using level 2 and these tones, and that feedback is going into the rings clone, the Rains, and various randoms and LFOs are going to parts of that. That's going into the Cirrus. There's various cross modulations from each outputs going to the reverb and the shape. Though on some of the modes, the shape is actually filter, low pass and high pass. And then, but the great thing about the micro modules is you can hot swap them. So that's just ready to go. So you can pop them in and pop them out. So it's quite easy to have a little array of sweeties for your cinema trips. Distortion, all the things. There's John Wonky Stuff's bass drum, which I brought because when you switch the decay right up, it just oscillates. So it becomes an oscillator. I did do a patch earlier with that, but I got bored of it, sorry. But that's a brilliant thing. Micro modules are the future, man.
Absolutely. So that is an interesting patch. And now...
And that's a tree.
And that's a tree as well. It's a not sounding tree, though.
Well, I don't know. John Cage might contradict you there.
Okay, so if we ever get John Cage onto this program, we will ask him.
I'll channel him with my medium skills.
So, Matt, why don't you just kick off that patch we'll just record a little bit of it?
Yes. So all I need to do is really raise level 2 to the point where the level starts to feed back. I tell you what, no, I don't need to do that. I need to turn the volume up first. That's the echo of the other thing coming through. Here we go. Somewhere. There we go. Does it need to be louder?
Perfect.
I forgot to bring my little cheat sheet for the Cirrus, so I immediately forget all the parameters on the Cirrus. Hang on, let's see if I can find it. Here it is, but I don't remember what mode I'm in, so that's irrelevant. As I said, Carsten, I remembered everything about this patch 2 hours ago, but you went for lunch and now I've forgotten everything. I think it's in mono. Do you dare I switch it to stereo, which is marked as mono, see what happens? I told you not to touch that switch. See, it makes all the difference. On the Rains, if you long press the poly button, it's supposed to go into a mode which has a pattern between it switching between the left and right, like left, right, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, or something like that. I'm going to do that now. Nothing might occur, but we'll see. There's some kind of pattern going on. It's quite subtle. I think it's that patterning that's doing that. I don't think I'm going to touch it anymore.
So is this the feedback that's doing this, or?
The feedback is going into the Rains, and then it's cross modulation between the Cirrus, whatever mode I'm in, which I've now forgotten, of course. It's probably one of the spectral modes. I could try changing the mode and we'll see what difference it makes. Bit of difference. I feel quite at peace now. I don't know about you.
So basically we can leave this patch running for the next couple of hours.
Not at risk of someone stealing it, but but we could just lie on the floor. There's a very string machine thing going on there, isn't there? I'm going to long press the mode and get into one of the Easter egg things. Things might go bad. No, not so different. Let's go to another. There you go, that's a different one. And I'll Easter egg that.